Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. Now, today we're going to continue on with our Let's Play of Gary Grigsby's War in the Pacific Admirals Edition. We are in turn number 2 of the game. It is December 9th, 1941. As you can see, the Japanese have completely surrounded Pearl Harbor with just a flotilla, a massive amount of submarines. I guess they wouldn't be a flotilla because they're under the surface, but a lot of submarines out here. Now we're trying to figure out what this task force may be. It could be subs, very possible. It keeps saying ship sighted one, but there appear to be 5 different sightings of one ship. This could be the main Japanese task force that hit Pearl Harbor, although that seems a little doubtful the more I thought about it, because they would be putting up much more of a signal than that. We would have a much better detection on them than that, I would imagine. Now, usually the Japanese task force, as they did historically, will peel back out and around. Uh, for that purpose, we do have quite a bit of recon naval search happening out here to the east of Midway. The Japanese also have some ships just off Midway here, so we're going to have to be aware of where that major task force is. I did set up a little cargo here. If you if you look at the ship, the Regulus was just sitting there in dock. I set it up as a task force to try to get it out with a waypoint out here, and then we're going to head it down south to Canton Island if we can. Seems like quite a dangerous mission to victory value. We're not going to worry about it too much. Just no reason to let it sit here because the Japanese are probably going to come take Midway. I like to try to reinforce Midway if I can, but if they've already got ships there, we may be seeing an invasion task force shortly. Um, Oh, I did want to mention that we have got the Lexington. We're going to put the Lexington on full speed for a turn. The reason I'm doing that, I don't really want to burn that much fuel, but just on the off chance that this is the main Japanese task force, they could potentially be in this area at the conclusion of this turn. I don't want our carriers anywhere close. I want them to hit here and then down here, and then we'll bring them around. We'll put them next time on cruise speed and just let them come all the way back around casually, let's hope, to Pearl Harbor. But we shall see. We did get some new. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention before I jump to that is we've got these B-17s out here in the Philippines. Gosh, sorry, I should have used the mini map for that. We've got these B-17s out here. They are at Cagayan. Um, they're here. We've got a few that got damaged last time. Now, we were bombing Babeldoab. Babeldoab. Okay. We bombed last time there. Now, I said I like to get them out of here, and I do. But they cost, okay, because they're attached to the Far East USAAF. You're going to have to buy them out to get them out. And if you look, it's going to be about 32 points. So I'm actually going to take this off. I'm going to stand them down for a turn. I'm not going to have them run that bombing mission this time. You may decide to do that differently. I'm not going to have them. I'm not going to just throw away those B-17s. 32 points, you know, is pretty steep. Just for approximately 10 to 50. Well, one group of them is what? Let's look at this again. One group is 8 planes, so they're both 8 planes. So you're paying about 4 political points per plane to get them out of here. Now they've got a huge maximum range, so we can get them pretty much anywhere we want to. We'd probably skip them down to Darwin. I don't know if they can quite get to Darwin. I'm trying to think how I think I usually maybe fly them into Kopang, then skip them over to Darwin, and then kind of out and around, and then eventually they'll end up in the South Pacific. but we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait a turn on that. So let's skip around the map actually really quickly before we talk about the new units that we got this time. We've got our task forces coming out of Abaddon. Now I've gone ahead and I've gone through my spreadsheet. I start to create my own spreadsheet as the turns happen. I color code that. I generally color code it red for bases, static elements, things that aren't really expected to move for the entire game. So bases, resources, obviously they're not moving, but also units that are like garrison units, they don't even have to technically be as part of a garrison. They just are not going to move. They're going to sit at that base. I color code those red. Um, I then take things like ASW that you're running out of a certain place. So let's just take like Karachi's ASW, whether that be ships or planes that are running it from here. So just, looking at Karachi very quickly, we have, some planes running ASW here. We have ship doing local mine sweeping. That's a good example. I usually color code those orange on my spreadsheet as they are not likely to do anything else the rest of the game. I don't color code them red because it's possible they could. We may eventually, decide these guys aren't doing any good at Karachi running ASW. Let's go send them to Calcutta if we can. I'm just completely making that up. But, I will color code those orange. All right. Then anything that's in training that we're training up pilots there, but we could eventually maybe use the planes. We might have to buy them out. We may have to do something else, buy out its command structure, whatever the case may be. If they're in training, I generally put those in yellow. And then anything that I need to look at, I know that I need to look at upcoming, I'm saying in the next month, let's say I put in green. And then that way, every time I go down the spreadsheet, I look at all the green ones for sure. I look at the yellow ones to see if I want to take if I need those planes, if I can do something with the pilots, etc. Um, Same thing with, so for task forces that are moving on the move, if I've got them in continuous supply, I'll usually put those in orange. If those are just going one place and then coming back, and I'm not sure what I'll do next, I keep those in green, and I look at them every time, or I try to. I take all the Soviet Union uh, assets out, so I think it leaves maybe right around 4,000 things on the spreadsheet, but once you turn things red and orange, you're looking at it depends. I mean, you could be looking at around 1,000 things each time, but once you get used to it, you can fly through those. People have asked me, do I use the tracker? I really don't. I have used it before. I like it. And I think if you're first starting out, it's a very good idea to get the tracker off, and that's on Matrix's website in the forum section, and it'll be right up at the top for this game. You can see it. It's called the War in the Pacific Tracker, and it will help you, with supply levels. It helps you with everything, really. So, it could be a good thing. I just have my own way of doing it. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't mean I don't like the tracker. I just don't use it anymore. Um, I kind of have my own way of doing it. So I do that color coding. You can then sort by the color if you need to, although I generally don't. I go down it. I'm so used to, we start in the A's, we go to Alaska and Australia, and then, I jump around. I know kind of what I'm looking for. And then I have a note section, so I'll put notes in there for maybe future plans for that or things that I want to make sure that the next time I look at it that I'm paying attention to. I just do a little note section. If those are super critical, I maybe will put that in green as well. Green is kind of my key for, hey, you need to do something with this. So anyway, hopping around the map, Abaddon, we've got things moving into Karachi, out of Karachi, over to Aden. All of this, check that over. All looks good. Cape Town, we got a few transports. I think I mentioned that maybe in the aftermath video I did the other day. Um, we got, oh, these are cargo ships. Yeah, we've got them in port here. We've got these APs here. We'll talk about the cyclemen maybe next time. But now we've got three transports over here. That's good because we are going to get some things in Cape Town. As some people mentioned in the comments, you don't get a ton of LCUs over here in Cape Town. They generally come to Aden. So we'll eventually move those transports up there. You can see here we've got some, we've got some task forces moving out. Looking at India itself, we've got our things moving around. We're trying to take care of those garrison requirements so we don't lose any victory points for not having a garrison. If you're wondering what the red is here, the red is generally either it's low, well, it's not generally, it's low on supply, and I believe is yellow the gosh, I just know yellow is low, is getting close to being low on supply, I believe. What is the garrison? I thought the garrison popped up something too, but no, those really have to do with supply. So, okay. Um, why is Diamond Harbor red though? Yeah, I'm not sure why Diamond Harbor would have that red exclamation point. Uh, I'll figure that out. Obviously there's a reason for it. Rangoon. We've got things coming out of Rangoon. We're soon to have things coming into Rangoon, and things should really heat up when that happens. We've still got, we've got some planes that will be up in the air running a cap here. We've got 19, seven of these are being maintained. One is damaged. For this group, this is the H-81A3s. Um, we're going to have them up and about in escort. And when I hit play on this turn, we may see some action there. We'll see. So really, what's going on after turn one, and as you go into turn two, there's not generally a ton to do. And the reason is because you've given everything its orders and it's moving. So a lot of those things, those LCUs that you put in strategic mode, they were packing. They will then get moving here shortly. Um, the task forces have now loaded up and they're starting to go to their destinations, but they're not there yet, of course, so we've only gone one turn. They may be if it's a short little hop, like down here to Tasmania, that little short hop, or something over here off the coast of India. But really, this has all just been the planning stage, and now we've gotten underway, and it's going to be a couple of turns before we need to start thinking, well, you're going to think this every turn, but before you really start thinking, okay, what next? Now, what do we do with this task force next? What do we do with this LCU next? Right now, everything's packing up, getting ready to go, or just now getting on its journey. Okay, so I was going to talk about the new units out here. Let's see, let's go to Suva. We've got some new naval search out here at Suva, so this just arrived, this unit here. It's just four planes. It's the Hudson. The Hudson's going to be running some naval search due north. A tad bit of training, but not really. It's really ready to go. It's a naval search unit now. Running that at 8,000 feet. It's running out there 14 hexes. So it's looking for anything that may be moving south. All right. Um, we do have this transport task force that also has the cruiser Louisville. Remember, we're heading that down to Townsville. That's headed south. The reason I just said that is because I had thought before the episode, one thing I wanted to mention is one thing I always do is go up here and just do kind of a grand sweep of the Pacific. And any little shades of green or brown out here, I go and figure out why they're out there. So we know we're running ASW there. Uh, this is that Robin that's going to go run ASW at Palmyra. That's headed south. The reason is hey, look, it doesn't matter how OCD you are, it doesn't matter how much you think you've checked. Every once in a while, you're going to say, oh crap, Why do I have a task force, just cruising across the Pacific? Uh, that's a death wish doing that out here. And so I always just do kind of a grand sweep, a sweep to make sure I don't have anything crazy happening out there in the Pacific. But all of these are planned. This is the Lexington, of course. It'll be interesting to see, just how I guess we're going to get down in this range, just how much fuel we have left. We should have plenty if we go to cruise next time to get it up and around. If we don't, and we know the Japanese main task force has cleared, we'll have to maybe get an oiler or two out here to try to refuel it if it's got a problem. But I'm just not going to take that risk early in the game. I'm going to get it south, get it the heck out of there. Um, so we had that naval search at Suva. Those four planes just showed up. We had quite a number of planes show up at Java. Um, and we have transferred those. So we've transferred them over here to Swerbaya in a couple of instances, and once up to Batavia. I think there's a naval search going on there. We also had a fighter unit that we're training, so we have some training. Another just quick tip, besides sweeping the Pacific, is anytime you come to a place like Swerbaya or Batavia, it's so easy. Just click through your and here's why. Just click through your units very quick, your air units, and make sure they're all on either a mission, whether it be patrol or, a mission and patrol, or if they're on training, that they're on training 100. It's just very easy, and I'm going to go back after the episode and see what this is actually supposed to be doing, but it's very easy to lose track of an air squadron and you won't have it doing anything. Okay. And so, I would like to know what this is supposed to be doing. Hopefully, it wasn't picking up troops. Now I kind of want to I wish I could hit, click back or undo, but I'll go look at what this is supposed to do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write that down. 2938, Squadron ID 2938 for the Dutch here. We'll figure out what they're supposed to be doing. It's a float patrol. They actually have decent experience. So my guess is maybe this is supposed to be doing some naval search. But I'll go find out. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch my hamster in my head run. Pick up troops. Okay, we're going to have that going on. That's good. Train 100, train 100. You don't have to go to every base, every turn or something. I'm just saying when you have like some new squadrons show up and you transfer them over to a place like Swerbaya or Batavia, just click through them, just see what they're all doing. And in that way, generally you're going to look at every squadron, every third or fourth or fifth turn this way, just to make sure you don't have a squadron out there that's just sitting. That's the last thing you want. Of course, we've got all of this, all these task forces coming. So planes in Java transfer, that was the second one I wanted to talk about. The third is Balboa and Cristobal. So over here at the Panama Canal. Now keep in mind that Cristobal is going to be getting a set amount of supply and fuel every turn. We don't really have anything down here to deal with that right now. And when I say deal with it, I mean get it out and get it somewhere. So it's sitting right now, it's building up. Okay. Over here at Balboa, we let's see. Yeah, I wanted to mention Cristobal. The Island Mail, this one's going out to Tahiti. We got that this time. We didn't get a ton. I mean, we got I've got five things mentioned here in my notes. The Cape Town Transports was the next one. We already talked about that. And then the Eastern U.S., we got some squadrons of planes, and all of those we have shipped to the West Coast. Uh, we, I think we sent one squadron to San Diego, one to San Francisco, and one to Seattle. A couple of those will be going on into the Pacific. We have further orders for those coming up in the turns to happen. Um, Okay, let's go back and keep flipping around the map now that I've mentioned the new items in. We sort of talked about India, Calcutta, we've got Rangoon. We've got Kota Baru down here. There's a full invasion happening here at Kota Baru. You see all of the Japanese ships out here that we've spotted. It's a full task force. We say that we've spotted 6 ships, including 2 destroyers. We've got supposedly 10 ships out this way. I mean, these are pretty nice sized task forces with decent surface vessels. We've got 2 cruisers here supposedly. Um, Again, there are things happening out here. Now, last time we went through, and normally I would do it before I click turn again, but I've already done it twice now. Go through the intelligence report. Sometimes I'll look at the big strategic map, and you can start to see maybe something that you don't see because you're looking at the trees instead of the forest. Um, Combat reports, go through those, operations reports. But basically, we got 5, 6, 7 new units this time. We moved those around. Everything's getting ready to go where it wants to go. Here at Kota Baru, this unit will eventually just start falling back. It should retreat unless it just gets completely overrun. We're getting things out here, okay? These ships are very, very vulnerable here, so let's hope they get moving quickly. Um, Again, a bunch of ships on the move. They just really, very few of them have gotten to their destination. Of course, there's not going to be a whole lot going down here. We talked about Suva, and those, it's nice to get new planes out this way for sure. We need all of the recon and spotting and naval search we can get. But I think I'm going to go ahead and hit next turn and we'll just watch it all go down. Turn one to turn two, they're turn three even a little bit. You've set your orders before the game started. Now you just got to watch it all play out until things start getting to their destinations, and you can start thinking about if you have a secondary set of orders you want to give it, or some of these things that'll be heading all the way back here to LA. They're not going to show up for a while, of course, but things that are just off the coast will be returning back to ports, and you'll have to think what you want to do about those next. But let's go back over here to Pearl Harbor. We'll just set it here for now, and you know what? Let's save this really quickly. Always save before you hit next turn. Uh, it just, you just never know. It's an older game. I never really have any problems with it crashing. I've never really heard that. I mean, at this point, they've ironed out most everything I would think, and that's been always been my experience, but it never hurts. So we save there. I try to save after I set up each individual thing that I set up, but that might be a little overkill. But let's hit next turn and let's watch it all go down. All right, this should be fun. Well, hopefully we'll get eyes on that main Japanese task force now, and it'll set my mind a bit at ease because until you know where that is, or at least for me, until I know where that is, it just makes me nervous. So I would like to know where that thing is headed. Oh, well, this is well, here we go. Look at this thing bounce around. We didn't really look at China much. Maybe next time we'll look a little bit at China and where things are moving, because since they are marching. Oh, you see all of our ships coming out of Hong Kong. Gosh, let's hope they make it. Talk about, can you imagine in real life having been on one of those ships? Whew, probably that would have been something. All right, it's going through all its phases. I've got this on 2.0, I think. I like this speed. This is a good speed as you're watching down here to the left as we're getting our messages. You have enough time to read what's happening. as we watch these, we're not going to watch every single combat animation every time because you can always escape out, of course, and just read the combat report, which is a lot more helpful, of course. But for exciting ones, especially when it's surface ships fighting each other or it's a bombing run on surface ships, I always think those are kind of fun to watch. Oh, what I was going to say. So Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I'm going to do a live stream. It will be on Twitch, and as of right now, I'm planning for it to also stream on YouTube. So to the extent you don't want to go over to Twitch, you don't have to. Um, but I'm going to start streaming to both places because I know some people maybe just don't want to deal with Twitch, and that's fine. But if you do, if you're already on Twitch and you like Twitch, give me a follow over there too. I would appreciate it. I'd like to build up the Twitch, and to the extent that you guys want to see things live, even as I set up these things, I mean, I can do it. I'm just sitting here doing it. So if you want me to film it, that's fine. I've been doing live streams of Crusader Kings 3, where I'm live, and I'm happy to chat with anybody that stops by. Of course, I just started the Twitch, so it's brand new. For me, but I think I'll also start live streaming on YouTube, which you're able to do, and we'll just do it that way. Okay, while we're here. Um, Kota Baru, okay. Coastal Guns against a task force there. Minesweeping, okay. All right, we got some mines swept out of Baton. That's what I thought this Japanese ship was down here was a mine layer, which is really bold. And then, yeah, here we go. At Singapore, of course, they're laying a ton of mines there, but it looks like we're doing a nice job of sweeping. All right, that's kind of the two places you would expect mines at this point. Of course, Oh, hey, yeah, this is that cargo ship I tried to get out of Midway, I think. Well, this is what naval combat looks like if you have not seen it. Um, you know, they're maneuvering. This is just a cargo ship. I'm not sure what they have out. I just didn't see what they had out here. We're about to find out. Yeah. Sorry, it's nighttime. I know it gets dark. Yeah, the Regulus sank. So it was going to be lost anyway. It took 31 shell hits. But hey, now we know they've got two destroyers out here. But yeah, that's 2 points lost. We were going to lose that anyway. Now, this is dark because it's nighttime. Hopefully, you can still see it really well. I realized that my live stream on the Twitch the other day was really dark and the video quality wasn't very good. I have figured out that problem. We got submarine action. Torpedo miss. All right. So we had a Japanese sub down here. We have this is a mine layer actually, but it's got some ASW, I believe. So that's just off of Singapore there. Okay, here come the bombing raids, the nighttime bombing raids, air night strikes. We do not have any cap up at night, so it's going to be down to our AA. One damage Betty here. Okay, it's going to be up to our AA to take care of anything coming in at night. Sending our planes up at night you might as well just go run them into the ocean because they will get destroyed. They were hitting Hong Kong. We did destroy a Sonia by AA there. That's good. Hitting Singapore again. Just 5 Bettys. These are not huge runs here for them. No losses. They're coming in just at 10,000. Is that right? Yeah, they're just coming in at 10,000 feet at night, which maybe I mean, it's pretty smart actually. They should come in lower. We're not running any cap at night, so got some flak here. No losses. Nothing necessarily is getting damaged. on the ground for us, or at least it's not telling us anything. Uh-oh. Macon. Wow, interesting. Okay. They're coming straight south at Macon here. Amphibious Assault. They're hitting Kota Baru again with bombardment. We haven't talked a lot about bombardment. Just as the allies, it's not really applicable to you early on. I think I mentioned this last episode. We'll get to bombardment, believe me. Okay, hey, it's daytime. It looks beautiful out here. Beautiful in the Pacific. Looked like everything was clear before the turn when I looked at the weather. So that doesn't mean in any individual hex it has to be that way, but in general. All right, so they're hitting Kota Baru again. Fine. We did get a shell hit. I've talked about this before. You've got these coastal guns, and they generally they can deal some damage. So we got an AK here, a civilian cargo ship that we put a hit on. Every once in a while, you'll sink one or two of those, and that's always nice. Or when you hit a troop transport, it's even nicer. Now we're sweeping more mines. This is why you have those minesweepers out. Um, oh, that reminds me. We did get, the Prince of Wales. Okay, we've got these guys. Oh, now this is that. We'll back up for a second in just a moment. But we've got our submarine, the Porpoise, out here. It did find something. Oh, is this a destroyer? Oh, okay. So really, did they find us or did we find them? That's the real question, right? Because they're dropping depth charges on us. Near misses rattle the sub. I always like to watch the submarine stuff. Um, generally your submarines are pretty good at avoiding damage here, but it's a percentage, right? I don't know if it's 12% chance that they have a 50. Holy smokes. Okay, so they've got four destroyers out here, probably with four or six ASW each. Well, I don't know. It could this early it might be some twos, but the Porpoise did not suffer any damage that we can see. We did get off some torpedoes at them, which is nice. Okay. Now the salmon. Oh, and the salmon found a cargo ship. Hit, but no explosion. There's your Mark 14 torpedo. That is just ridiculous, right? Can you imagine? You're down in the submarine. The war has started. You acquire a ship. You spot it. You've got it. You lock onto it. You fire, and it does no damage. You hit it and it does no damage. No wonder it was such a scandal. These U.S. torpedoes, just absurd. The Seawolf. Okay, so our subs are got a lot of things that they're dealing with out here, and they're finding them. This is a DMS, so that's a destroyer minesweeper. So again, it's one of these deals where they're bringing some ASW with their ships, and it's who found who, right? Last time the Porpoise got off some torpedoes, but they got off some depth charges at us, and nobody got hurt. But it looks like, let's see if we get anything here. No, but we've got a lot of ships out here. We've got some, that's the main ASW you would think, but the PBs may have something. You've got some cargo. Yeah, a lot of ships moving around out here. Got the task force merging. We're adjusting ship fuel. And now the Perch it's that DMS again. So it's a destroyer. Again, are we on offense or are we on defense? Who knows? See if anything happened here. No? Okay. Man, I'd like to get lucky and, take out a troop transport. You see, we got things. So bad weather is keeping us from um, running missions. That's what that message was a second ago. Now all of our ships out here are spotting Japanese bombers. I bet they are. Oh, what I wanted to mention before is you saw a message that it said this ship, I think, or I shouldn't say ship, that task force was moving, it was evading. Uh, as you set your threat levels for your task forces, if they get too close to something, if they detect danger, they will start to move on their own to get out of that danger. Wow, we're snooping a lot of fighters here, and we're spotting these ships. Yeah, we haven't seen much around Hawaii at all this turn. Now, I guess now we're starting to. They're going to hit Wake, and we have that cap up. We have some Wildcats up. They brought in bombers all by themselves, which is always nice for us, but it doesn't look like we took any of them out. Did we get anything here? Nope, no losses at all. And they hit our airbase and our runway. That's very disappointing for them to have brought in these Nells at 7,000 feet. We've got cap up in these Wildcats. Two got airborne, five were on standby, and we got nothing doing. So it's a little disappointing. Uh, Kwanton, so they're going south of Kotobaru here. They may bring in another. This is dangerous if they get behind all of these troops we have coming down here. That's dangerous. So we've left some screening troops behind. Let's hope they do the job. Let's get out of that. All right. Wow, 65 Nells. Okay. We damaged one, destroyed one. They hit, we got four casualties on the ground. Wow. They absolutely chewed up our air base there. But okay. I mean, we don't have any planes at the air base, so not the biggest deal in the world, but man, they're bringing a lot of bombers this way. Okay, we got some cap up here. Let's see what happens. Uh, okay. Oh, wow. All right. Well, the Nates and the Oscars came in. Our cap kind of got chewed up that time. Three destroyed. I'm not a huge fan of that. They're coming in higher than we are, but not a fan of that combat resolution here. Here they're hitting Kwanton again. We did get 11 Buffaloes up against 18 bombers, and it does not look like we got any of them. We did. On the way in, on the way out, we damaged two air to air. We got one destroyed by flak. Okay, well, they beat up on that airfield again, but so what? You know, good for them. They're kind of destroying something that could be their own airfield eventually here. Buffalo's up again against Lilies. They're bringing a lot of these in unescorted, which okay. Now it looks like we took out some of these. They started with 31. They've only got 22 left. Now some of them may have just turned around. Yeah, no, no, no. We did really nicely there. 31 Lilies coming in unescorted. Boy, I don't think you would hardly ever see a human player do that. Not this early in the game. We got 11 Buffaloes up, 6 destroyed, 1 damaged. That's a nice result for us, for sure. Georgetown, they're just going to beat the living hell out of Georgetown at some point. Okay, where our task force is getting ever closer, and now they're going to start hitting Tavoy with some bombing runs. Nate and Lily's unescorted, but we had no cap that could get there. Our cap's too far. Our cap would never get down there. They're hitting the runway at Tavoy. That's fine. I mean, we're not. If anything, I'd like to get the Tavoy base force out of there. We've got Hudson's up here. Oh, okay. We're out in the middle of China here. Nate's. Oh, I see what's going. Okay, we'll talk about this here in a second. Yeah, we have 7 Hudsons up. These DB3Ms. Okay. Um, we did damage, or we got damage on a DBM. Now we've got these SB3s up. No Allied losses, no Japanese losses. Nothing really happened there. This is not what you want to see. So we've got Kate's approaching task forces here. That's usually a bad recipe. So we'll just see what we've lost. Yeah, they've got a light carrier out here, obviously. It looks like we've lost a couple of AKLs. Um, the Basias and the Princess of Negros bomb hits 5, sunk. Bomb hits 9 and sunk. Not surprising. You know, if they acquire those and they get bombers out over them, those ships just move too slowly. Luckily, they're not worth much. Um, it is what it is. I mean, you're going to lose some things. You can't be like, down about it or something like, oh, gosh, why did I lose those two civilian small cargo ships? You know, it's just going to happen. Again, they're hitting this time Victoria Point. So Victoria Point and Tavoy down there, they're going to hit those over and over, but we're not really even defending them. So good for them. Okay, bad weather's canceling some of our patrols. We don't have the clouds on the map. Maybe next time I'll turn the clouds on so we can see, you know, it would basically just have a cloud over the ship here. Yeah, boy. We're spotting these bombers. They haven't run a bombing run on any of these things yet. I don't want to, fingers crossed, I don't want to jinx it here. Yeah, I mean, keep seeing supposedly what was that? I have to go back and see exactly what that message was. Yeah, well, we've got good eyes on all these ships and planes. At Kota Baru in the Philippines, we've got really good recon on all that stuff now. Airstrikes, more airstrikes. They're going to hit Apari, it seems. Oh no, they're coming straight to Clark Field. Well, we should be able to get a lot of cap up here. I mean, we've got a lot of planes in this area that are still undamaged. Now, what they're trying to do is bomb the crap out of that airfield so that we can no longer get cap up. Usually, the Japanese will wait until they can make sure you have no cap left. Then they'll bomb. You know, they'll start trying to degrade your land forces with bombing runs. We destroyed a Zero, a Betty destroyed and damaged. We took some, 3 planes destroyed as well. They did get on the runway. We're going to have to look on that runway at Clark Field. If it gets too beat up, we'll have to transfer them out to Manila, maybe even Bataan. I'd rather not do that, but it happens. The Bettys got through the cap screen. 20 of them. We got 5 Warhawks up, and they did some good work here. 3 destroyed, 1 damaged. We'll take that. Hong Kong, they're going to bomb the living heck out of that as well. We just got to try to take out as many of them as we can. The Mabels, we got 1 damaged. All right. 5 casualties. Lots of sightings. Lots of sightings. Surprisingly few bombing runs yet. I know it seems like it's been quite a few, but really these early on, it's just a Japanese bombing onslaught. Now this is what we don't want. Um, it's another one of these civilian cargo ships, and that is now gone to the bottom of the ocean, unfortunately. 2 of them, the Serengami and the Escalante. 13 Kates took them out. That's fine. I think those are worth 2 points each, something like that. This is Victoria Point again, I believe. Um, you know, again, they're going to bomb that, and they're then going to move up and start moving towards Rangoon. They try to take those bases to the south of it first. Wow. Oh, this is our air transport phase. So you can watch, remember all those pickups and drop-offs that we had that we've set with some of our transport planes and even patrol planes that can do it. You saw the one running out of north up in Sarawak, or no, from Jesselton. Up here at Jesselton, just picked up some things out of Hong Kong. It's pretty big. That's a long run, right? Okay. These are all Chinese air squadrons. So we'll have to go look at these. You know, your Chinese Air Force or anything in China airwise is really, really poorly trained. So you got to try to train them up as fast as you can. Yeah, we're okay. We're gonna have some unloading here. Macon was not even a base yet. I mean, they're gonna have to build a base there. They're gonna do some more bombardment of Kota Baru, but we did get a shell hit on the cargo ship anyway. Yeah, we'll see what happens in China. The land, okay, we've got things on the march here. Now, often when I'm playing, I hit escape and have this go really fast because this is going to show us everyone that's marching, everyone that's going by strategic move. But early on here, I kind of want to watch, I want to see, make sure things are going where they're supposed to be going. And you start to get used to the speed of what it's showing you, and you can say, hey, wait a minute, I don't think something's supposed to be moving that direction anyway. But we got all kinds of things marching in China, and we will spend a whole episode and just go look at China once we get things, once they've gone through the initial orders here, and we'll really look down in this area because this is the big decision you have to make. Are you going to try to hold that as long as you can, or do you immediately pull back? This time we're holding it a little bit. Usually, I have to admit, I usually play where I get them in full retreat behind the river, early on, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Good. Okay. Now you're starting to see all that strategic movement. This is that suicide mission group that's going up here to Allure Star. They're just like, thanks. Thanks for those orders. So yeah, they're moving by rail, but this is good. This is good to see things moving south here on Malaya because now, they were hitting Kwanton pretty hard this time, which leads me to believe there's a surface task force coming here to land and drop off troops. And so if that's the case, we just got to make sure that we don't get anything trapped north of Singapore that we don't want up there. I mean, we're going to keep some things at Kuala Lumpur. We've got that one unit going to Allure Star. You just don't want to be in a situation where you say, "Oh shoot, my the entire British division up there is completely surrounded. I'm going to lose a whole division." All right, things moving around in India. Let's just move. Sometimes this can give you a nice flavor. Saw things moving in Canada, Rangoon, Australia. Look at these suckers move. Our rail lines are incredible. Um, yeah, I'm glad I hit escape. We didn't want to watch all that. And here they go again. Oh, we got some land battles here. Okay, so this is northwest of Nanking. All right, yeah, these are some of these units are in strange places here. We've got a retreat path up here, but they've got like this base, and they had an assault value on us 312 to 5, 62 to 1 odds. Uh, wow, but they actually took 5,500. Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh, I got all excited for a second. Those aren't casualties, my friend. That's how many troops they've got. Our combat, I got all. That's hilarious. I wish that were true. 150 casualties for the attackers here. 580. We had 22 squads destroyed. This is always an important number because once they're destroyed, they're not coming back. That may be a shock to you, but and we're retreating out of there. You know, good retreat. That's fine. Kota Baru. Okay, we've got that eighth Indian. brigade here. We don't have a nothing force here. We've got over 100 assault value. Now you can watch this play out if you want to, but I just like to go to the combat reports. Okay, so they've captured Kota Baru. We had some. Okay, so the smaller force surrendered, but our 8th Indian is just retreating, as is the base force. Okay, so they had us a 9-1. All right. Um, you know, they had quite a bit more going on. We have terrible commanders up here, of course. 274 casualties, 2348. Okay, well, that's going to happen. They're going to take Macon. Okay. Interesting. So they're, coming down this way, maybe going to island hop and try to cut us in half, which could uh, provide a very interesting game if they if they really follow through on that. Your big risk anywhere out here in the Pacific is they cut you in half. Whether it either be here, and I'm talking like Suva or Pago Pago, or they come try to take Christmas Island and they start to cut you in half, or here in the Dutch East Indies where they slice through here and maybe take Balikpapan, then Surabaya, and then move on Darwin, and all of a sudden, you've got two different theaters and they're not necessarily conjoined. Um, okay, so we're going around the fortifications. That's fine. Moving oil and resources. We're coming to the end of the turn here. Wow, that looked crazy. Okay, here is where we're losing points from partisan attacks of not having the garrisons. Shoyang, Sinyang, and Colombo. But we already knew that. We've got things moving to those places, but that's what I was talking about. If you saw that message down there, we're losing a victory point each turn, what the game calls a partisan attack, because we do not have a big enough garrison at those places. So, we'll go check all those places next time. We'll read through the log, make sure that we're looking at all of the ones that actually that need the garrison. We see we've got a lot of stuff arriving here. Things moving. A lot of this is things moving by rail or marching, but also new units that we would be getting. And we'll just kind of go through that. Um, yeah. So we had okay, and that's that. And once again, we don't know where the main Japanese task force is. Huh. Okay. Well, that leads me to believe they're not coming this way. We've got a lot out here. They must be up in this, peeling up and north, or they're like in here somewhere that's kind of in between. We do have this naval search out, but it's not with a ton, right? We've got what have we got? We've got 11 planes. Well, that's actually not terrible, but that's a lot of ocean to cover, right? So it's possible that we just haven't seen them, or they've just come out and they're coming this way. They're kind of at the edge of the range. Let's see how far down here the Lexington got. Okay, cool. Let's go look at its fuel. Yeah, we're gonna get that now. Um, Yeah, we'll have that on mission speed. We've got fuel now to get that all the way back and around to Pearl Harbor at mission speed. So that's nice. Okay, so they're out of there and all good. I don't think it should be under any kind of pressure there. Now, remember, we also have the carrier. Where is it? We have the carrier coming out of San Diego. Did it get a little further than that? Hold on. Well, let's go look. So that was the Lexington. We've got the Saratoga, which is right there. Okay. I knew it was out here somewhere. So we've got the Saratoga moving out. It's going to come straight down here to Pearl Harbor. We need to watch this. If there are still a bunch of Japanese submarines in the area, we may pull up just a little short and slow. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to take this down to cruise speed for now. Um, yeah, let's do that. I just don't like to get too close and, on the off chance we run into a submarine, all of a sudden you've lost the Saratoga. Of course, there's a very small chance that would happen. We have a lot of destroyer. Well, not, I say a lot, not a lot. We've got, four destroyers with only two ASWs. So let's be really careful with the Saratoga. So we've got the Lexington, we've got the Saratoga, and we've got the Enterprise, which is sitting still at Pearl Harbor. We're not going to bring that out in risk. But we'll go over all of this next time for turn three. We'll probably do that Sunday on the live stream. So again, that's going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific Coast time. I hope I said the right time zone last time. Surely I did. I live in the Pacific Coast time. I'm used to saying that. That will be 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time that I'll do that live stream. I'm going to go ahead and go over the spreadsheet. I'm going to give orders or do whatever else we need to do so that when we talk on Sunday, that we can kind of talk bigger strategy kind of things. I'm not going to be sitting there entering in orders while you watch. That seems boring. But on Sunday we'll watch turn three play out and kind of react to that. One thing I did want to go see, let's go look at our intelligence report really fast. Allied ships sunk. I wanted to make sure that those, yeah, so see the Escalante, the Visayas, the Princess, the Regulus, the Serengami, one, two, one, if those are the ships that they're going to be sinking, we're okay. We're okay. Let's see in the air war. We did better this time, right? Now we've taken out more of their, well, in this turn, we took out more of theirs in air to air. For the campaign, we're still a little behind. We've hit some things with flak, staying even on operational for now. We're up to 183 political points. Okay. But we'll deal with all of that on Sunday, talk more about it. As always, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and or leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up. Heck, even give me a thumbs down and say this is crap and tell me why. I always like the feedback. Maybe head over to Twitch if you want to follow me over there and you'd like to watch it there. I'm planning on also live streaming on YouTube, but let's say I'm better at strategy games than I am at technology, and so it's not 100% that that's going to happen. I still have to make sure that YouTube streaming, that I've got all of the X, Y, and Z's set up there. So, definitely on Twitch, probably most likely on YouTube. Um, and anyway, either way, I'll upload it. I've got all of the video stuff figured out. I'll also be uploading it on YouTube as just a standalone episode that you can watch anytime that you want. You don't have to watch it live. So anyway, as always, thank you so much. Strategy Gaming Dojo. Talk to you next time.